Most people never create real change in their lives. They never manifest what they desire because they keep changing what they are focused on. They start in one direction, get pulled into another, lose momentum, and end up back where they started, telling themselves that this kind of work doesn't work for them. It's like setting your GPS. You want to go from A to B. B is your destination, B is your focus. You start driving, and halfway there, you see a sign for C. You think, ooh, C might be interesting as well. So you change direction. You head towards C. Halfway to C, you spot D. D looks even better. So you turn again. By the time you remember that B was the original plan, you might be tired. For sure, you're confused. And maybe you give up entirely and drive back to A, telling yourself that this manifestation stuff doesn't really work. It's not the work that failed, it's the focus that kept moving. If you keep changing your focus, you will keep arriving somewhere you didn't actually want to go. Or you'll keep arriving back to where you started. But when you're truly laser focused on A and you keep going in the direction of A, you will arrive at A. I also talk about that in my book, Flex Your Mind. And once you understand what's actually happening in the body and in the brain, you can stop this pattern. You can begin to accelerate your own growth. Not by pushing harder, and this is really important, not by pushing harder, by doing less with more precision and kindness. So we started with awareness, we moved into accepting what is. Last time I talked about adjusting what needs to be adjusted. And today we go one step further. So today it's about acceleration. And I want to share with you the research that explains why this works in the body and not just in the mind. So right here and right now, take a moment to arrive. Wherever you are right now, whatever kind of day it has been already, feel the weight of your body, the contact with the chair or the floor or the ground beneath you. Maybe you're sitting or driving, walking, lying down. Let's take one slow breath in. And let go. Breathe out. Inhale. Inhale a bit more. Exhale. Exhale a bit more. One more. Let's breathe in. And breathe out. Now, accelerating growth, it doesn't mean pushing harder. It does not mean trying harder. None of that. This work is done with kindness, with ease. I keep repeating in my meditations as well, effortless. And being your own best friend, also or especially in meditation. And I know how this sounds sometimes, because the body knows the difference between effort and force. And when we're forcing, we're contracting. We can't really create. And this is really not a woohoo idea, although, again, I know how it may sound, but the research on self-compassion at the University of Texas, for example, shows that people who treat themselves with kindness in difficult moments, they recover faster, they take more action, they're more resilient than people who are hard on themselves. So self-criticism feels productive sometimes, but it is not. Kindness is the more powerful state. So as we go through this talk, remember, lean into softness. We all do this from a place of ease. So what's the thing with focus? Now, one of the most common reasons people stay stuck is not because they don't know what they want. It's because they keep changing what they want. So I want to give you a very specific example. because it can sound a bit abstract with the A and the B and the destination and the GPS and all of that. Maybe yes, maybe no. But I worked with a woman in her late 40s, senior role, 3 kids, a sense that something in her life was off, but no clear sense of what exactly. And she wanted more ease in her work, more presence at home, and really wanting to start a creative project that she's been postponing for years. Now, the first 3 months, she kept switching. 1 week, the focus was on the creative project. The next week, it was on the marriage. The next week, it was a career change. And nothing really moved. What changed her experience was the moment that she chose one direction and stayed with it for 6 months. And she picked ease in her work. That was the only thing she let herself focus on. Not the creative project, not the career change, one direction. And what happened was unexpected for her, but very logical. As she got more present and less reactive at work, the marriage also softened on its own. As her nervous system settled, the creative project started to feel possible again. Almost like a side effect. The focus on one thing rearranged the whole field. And that is what consistency of focus does. It is not glamorous, but it works. And I hope you really heard the time frame. 6 months. Not 5 sessions on a meditation app. 6 months of consistent focus. So the next thing I want to share with you today, and this is really important, there's 2 ways of viewing reality. Either you see very clearly where you want to go, believe that you can actually go there, and you keep your attention there, whatever the current reality or your past is telling you, laser focus on your main direction. I call it the major focus. Or you keep seeing why things cannot work and have not worked. So you keep seeing the obstacles, the reasons why it will not work, the problems, the proof that it's just not there for you. Now, seeing obstacles is the default setting of the brain. That's actually a good thing. Your brain is working, it functions, because your brain is a prediction machine. It's a lot more, but in this context, it's a prediction machine. Its main job is to scan for danger, to keep us alive, anticipate problems, to keep you safe. It's constantly running calculations on what could go wrong. And that's not a flaw, that's what kept our ancestors alive. So there's fascinating research from the University of North Carolina about this. When you are in a negative state, your visual attention literally narrows. So you see less of the room. You notice fewer options. When you are instead in a very positive state, appreciation, hope, curiosity, then your attention widens. You actually see more. You make more associations. You find more solutions. And here's the thing, you draw coincidence into your world. And this drawing into, it can also be labeled as attracting, as manifesting. So that is just, if you want, seeing more options and being open to the options, that it is for you, that it is a possibility. And this is measurable in a lab. So the state that you are in determines how much reality you have access to. So when we train ourselves to look at opportunity, we're not pretending the obstacles to be away, we're widening the lens. So if you simply follow the habits of the brain, you will see obstacles everywhere. You will see why this doesn't work, why it's not realistic to want something, why now is not the right time. Your brain is doing exactly what it's designed to do. What we've learned is to train the brain here to look at opportunities, to see possibility, to see what could go right. Is not positive thinking. Is not painting a smile over reality and pretending that everything is fine and everything will be all right. It's learning to perceive reality in a wider way because the obstacles are real and the possibilities are also real. The question is which ones you're training yourself to see or to see the most. Now, once you've trained your focus, there's another layer. And this is where acceleration begins. You take conscious control of the relationship between who you are right now and who you are becoming. Now, most people are completely unconscious in this relationship with themselves. They drift, they react, they let their mood, their phone, their environment, the people around them decide how they feel and what they think. And then they wonder why their life doesn't change. When you become conscious in this relationship with yourself, everything shifts. When you figure out your relationship with yourself, magic happens. Coincidence all of a sudden. Because you will be more aware of your inner state, of who you really are and want to be. And you can start guiding your thoughts to match with the new version of yourself. You become a very conscious and deliberate thinker. You no longer entertain any thoughts that, when given enough attention, would pull you away from who you can and will be. You think on purpose, you feel on purpose, you speak and act on purpose. And that's acceleration. Because at this point, the new version of you is no longer something that you're trying to reach, it's something you're becoming, it's something you are. And that's again where the kindness piece needs to come in. Because for any of this to come into the body has to be relaxed. The nervous system has to be in the right state. You cannot create change from a contracted body or a body that's in fight-flight, from a body that's on alert. You cannot create change from striving either, or from a place of lack. So we tackle this by leaning into the feeling of gratitude, really feeling it. Not the idea of gratitude, the felt sense of it in the body. So right here and right now, bring something to mind that you're genuinely grateful for. It could be someone, it could be a moment, it could be a super small thing, it can be something really big. It could just be being able to listen to this talk and feel it in your chest, feel it in your belly. Let your face soften. Again, not woohoo. Researchers are really studying gratitude now, and studies show that a consistent gratitude practice changes your sleep, your immune function, your blood pressure, and overall well-being. So 2 weeks of a daily gratitude practice, which could be naming 5 things in the morning and the evening that you're grateful for. That's it. It produces measurable shifts. As not a nice idea. Well, it is, but it's not just a nice idea. It's one of the most evidence-based, packed practices in psychology. And then this feeling of love as well. Whatever love means to you right now. The love you have for someone, the love you've received, the love that lives in your body when you're around the people, the places, the work that fill you up with kindness, love, just feeling that. So you can also measure what happens in the body during states of appreciation and love. And they measure heart rate variability, for example, the rhythm of the heart. And we can find that when you are in a sustained state of gratitude and love, the heart moves into what we call coherence. The signal becomes more smooth, ordered, harmonized, and from that coherent state, your thinking sharpens, your emotional regulation improves, and your body recovers faster from stress. So when I ask you to feel gratitude and love in the body, it's not just because it's nice. I'm asking you to put your physiology into the state from which change is actually possible. And without these two, really, manifestation becomes quite difficult. Because the moment you try to create change from a tight body, what comes up is everything that is missing. So everything that's not right. So everything about the lack will come up. So we start from here, from the relaxed body, from gratitude, from love, from the ease of being your own best friend. And from there, we create change. Something else I want to draw your attention to is that some teachers call this alignment, some call it flow. Abraham, Esther Hicks, and they call it the vortex. So you can verify it in your own body. When you feel hopeful, you are getting closer to a state of flow. When you feel grateful, you're getting closer. When you feel love, ease, appreciation, warmth, all of those, you're getting closer. And when you feel like something heavy, you're feeling resentful feelings, frustration, hopelessness, and you're moving further away from flow or from the vortex and from source, from your true being, whatever you want to call it. So it's not a moral judgment at all. Feeling bad is not wrong. We can't be happy all the time. It's just information. It's your inner guidance telling you that the thoughts you're currently thinking are pulling you away from where you want to go. So is this something that you still need to explore, investigate? Do you have to do something with this? Or can you accelerate in a way and adjust? So how do you accelerate here? If there's nothing that you have to work through anymore, it's just something that creeps up, you release resistance gently. So resistance is every thought that argues against what you want. Every thought that says it won't happen for you. Doubt, fear. Every thought that says you're not the kind of person who gets that. Every thought that rehearses the old story. So when there's no resistance to the thoughts and the feelings of who you are becoming, life starts to organize differently around you. Your attention shifts. Your choices shift. The people you notice, the opportunities you say yes to, the things you stop tolerating, all of it shifts. And that is not magic. This is what happens when your inner state and your outer direction are aligned. So I want to acknowledge something here because I know who's listening. Many of you have tried things before. The courses, the books, the meditation apps, the coaches. You've felt moments of clarity and then watched them dissolve back into the old patterns, sometimes within the week. You may quietly be very skeptical about your own ability to change. And that's not weakness, it's very honest data from your own experiences from the past. What's different about this approach is not the technique itself, it's the foundation. We're not trying to override the nervous system or something with willpower, like push through. It's not about thinking your way into a new life, positive thinking. It's not that. We're starting at the level that change actually happens in the body, in the felt state, in the daily return to gratitude, love, focus with consistency. And this needs time. So let's bring this into your body. Let's take a breath, slow it down. Nice long inhale And then exhale. Let's exhale a little bit longer. And then inhaling. So this is where we start. And the acceleration in the next week of exploring more meditations. If you remember only one thing from this talk, remember this. It's like you do not create change from lack. You create from gratitude, from love, and everything else follows. Take one more breath. Let the exhale be slow and be full. Feel your body, feel the ground. And feel that you're already in this moment becoming. Now, if this talk has meant something to you, maybe you can share it with someone who could use it. You can also let me know in the comments what you remember the most and how it is helping you right now. Thank you.